This last week, schools started back here in Australia. For those watching as part of our live stream, we've had summer holidays here in Australia for quite a while, and school went back. We had special masses for our teachers on Wednesday, and then students have gone back to school Thursday, and some new students probably started on Friday in kindergarten and those sort of things. This coming week we'll start to have opening school masses and all of those experiences. Today the gospel presents Jesus as the teacher, that he gets up in the synagogue and he starts to teach. But Jesus' teaching was more than just words. It left a significant impression upon the people, but it also changed the people. I've been thinking about the role of teachers over the last few days in preparation for today. And I've been thinking about some of the teachers in my own life. I know in the church there are some teachers here this evening, and we've all had experiences of teachers. Hopefully we've had some good experiences of teachers. But we've probably also had some challenging or even some bad experiences of teachers as well. That's part of the experience of life. When I went to high school, my principal had a deep understanding of the care for every single student. He knew the name of every student. He knew things about them. He knew things about their families. When I was studying in Rome and living in Rome just over a decade ago, the principal from my high school, who was well and truly retired by that stage, he was into his sort of mid-70s, contacted me and said, "I'm coming to Rome with a few former students and we'd love to be able to meet you, to see some things at the Vatican and maybe be able to participate in a mass and to be able to see the Pope, participate at a papal audience," which they did. They came to Rome and they had a great experience. One of the interesting things is the three students, former students who came with my former principal were in their 40s. And the former principal told me a little bit about these students, and they then shared something of their life journey as well. Two of the students had been expelled from school by this principal. Another had left school, had never finished school. But this principal felt it was his responsibility, even though he expelled two of these students, to continue to form them and to be an inspiration for them so that 25 years after they finished school, they went on an international trip with their former principal. You can start to see the deep impression that this man had upon his students. And this is what Jesus Christ has with us. Jesus goes into the synagogue, he starts to speak, but he doesn't just speak words, he actually gives clarity, and he brings new life and hope to those who heard him. We're told that Jesus speaks with authority. When a person speaks with authority, they're not speaking as a disciplinarian. And teachers who just force you to understand something or force you to have certain knowledge or require discipline, they're not necessarily the best teachers. The best teachers, in my experience, and having talked to many other people as well, the best experience of teachers are the ones that help us to see the world in a new way, in a refreshing way. The teachers that really change us are the ones that help us to realise what our meaning is. They're the ones that speak with authority. They're the ones who unite their life with the life of Jesus, the teacher. Jesus wants the best for each and every one of us. But the way of one person is different to the way for the next person. The way that I respond to God and the way I live out the way of Jesus Christ is unique to me, as is the way of each and every one of us. And this is what St. Paul is writing about in the second reading when he writes to the Corinthians. He's saying some people are single, some people are married. And depending on what situation you are in life, the demands that you have, the responsibilities that you have, will reflect the way you respond to the love of God. A person who is single in their life has sometimes more availability to be able to serve in the world. Whereas a person who's married has the responsibility, first and foremost, to serve within the context of their family, to serve their husband and wife, to serve their children, to serve the domestic church that we build up. And so the way of God is unique to each person. Sometimes the world, and sometimes even within education, we think, oh, well, there's always a clear right and there's a clear wrong answer. Maybe there is in maths, maybe that's the case. But in many other areas, it's a little bit more complicated than that. And that's the beauty of Jesus Christ, the teacher, that he speaks to each and every one of us personally. And we're called to hear those words of Christ and allow it to change us. Jesus speaks with authority when he goes into the synagogue, and he casts out the devil within one person. But the rest of the crowd realized Jesus speaks with the words of God. He speaks with authority. And the word authority, you could say, comes from the word author. And it's linking us with the author of life, with God. Jesus doesn't just teach us knowledge. He teaches us and unites us with authority, with all that is about the author of life, with God. So let us think about our teachers tonight. Let us pray for teachers, maybe teachers who are in the church here this evening. Pray for our teachers in our schools and in all sorts of different contexts. And maybe think of some of the teachers who've taught us. Those who've helped us to find new meaning in life, who've linked us with God and linked us with our true meaning, who've not just slavishly got us to repeat things over and over again in a rote manner, but have helped us to think about what God might be actually calling each of us to do. This is the beauty of Jesus the teacher. And this is the beauty of what education is meant to be about. It's not just repeating things off over and over again. It's finding our experience of the true author of life, of God. Let us pray that Jesus the teacher will continue to inspire us and will inspire our teachers to help students experience and become servants of Jesus Christ, the true author of life in our world today.